in 1906 in Fannie Farmer's edition of the Boston Cooking School Cookbook, but it wasn't until the 1960s, until General Foods was promoting their German chocolate brand, they came up with a recipe for cream cheese brownies. Now, it sounds great, cream cheese and brownies, but the reality is not quite that wonderful. Here's the problem. The cream cheese dries out, it's chalky, it's very tasteless, or you end up with a snack that's all brownie and no cream cheese. So let's head into the test kitchen with Bridget and figure out how to make a cream cheese brownie that tastes as good as it sounds. You probably remember that old magazine column called Can This Marriage Be Saved? Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Well, this is about Can This Recipe Be Saved? Because cream cheese and chocolate in a brownie, I mean, it sounds good.
Yeah, sure.
It's just not going to work out.
Yeah, well, there are some big problems with this brownie. One is that somebody tried to add cheesecake batter, which is essentially what the cream cheese mixture is, to a perfectly good brownie. So you end up with cream cheese mixture that doesn't taste tangy. It can't compete with the brownie part. It also leaches a lot of liquid into the brownie mix, so you get really heavy brownie mix. Most recipes use all cream cheese, 8 ounces or more for the brownie batter. So instead of that, we are breaking that down to 4 ounces. We're halving that. And for a tangier flavor, we're going to use 4 ounces of cream cheese and a half a cup of sour cream. The cream cheese has been softened in the microwave for about 20 seconds, and we don't want to make this too sweet. There's plenty of sweetness in the brownie mix itself, so this is only 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now, I mentioned before, one of the problems with the cream cheese mixture is it made the brownies too wet. Well, we just added sour cream, which is a lot wetter than cream cheese.
I was going to ask that.
Well, usually this mixture has eggs in it, but we don't have any eggs in the cream cheese mixture because they lent a lot of the moisture too. So we pulled out the 2 eggs, and instead we've got 1 tablespoon of flour. So this is just regular all-purpose flour, and it's going to absorb a lot of that moisture. All right, so quickly whisk this together.
So you basically threw out the standard recipe and started from 0.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
All right, for our chocolate brownie mixture, of course, we're going to start off with chocolate. So we're going to go with unsweetened chocolate. This is 4 ounces of unsweetened chocolate. I'm going to melt this with 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And we'll just use the microwave for this, about 1 to 2 minutes at 50% power, and I'll stir it every once in a while until it's completely melted.
Okay.
You know this is going to be good. Chocolate and butter.
So we're just going to eat the way it is. We're not going to actually bake it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just plop the cream cheese right on top. So we're going to set this aside for just a moment. So this is 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour and a little bit of leavener. I've got a half a teaspoon of baking powder and a half a teaspoon of salt. Simply whisk the dry ingredients together. All right, let's move on down here. One more item. We've got our wet mixture. I've got 1 1/4 cup of sugar. So this is a lot of sugar, at least it sounds like it, but we're using unsweetened chocolate.
Well, you think I'm going to get upset about sugar?
No. 2 eggs and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we'll whisk all this together. I'll go ahead and bring this back up there so we can assemble our brownie batter. Just want to get any sugar lumps out. All right. So first thing to go in here is our chocolate mixture. Pour that right in. And I'm going to need I need this bowl here in a minute. You can't have it.
You know, I don't even get like to lick the bowl anymore.
Oh, there will be plenty of opportunity.
Okay.
Remember, that's unsweetened chocolate. Do you really want to like that?
Sure.
All right. Just looking out for you, Chris. Now we can go ahead and add our dry ingredients. We're going to fold in the flour mixture. We don't want to activate too much gluten. We don't want really tough brownies. So basically just fold in the flour mixture. Now we need to figure out a way to put these 2 together. Now traditionally what happens is you take all of the brownie batter, you spread it into the bottom of the pan, and then you dollop the cream cheese mixture on top and swirl it in.
Swirl.
But you end up with this huge border around the pan of no cream cheese. It seems to all tumble towards the center. You get this big block of it. So we want to make sure that both of these ingredients are spread evenly. Now before I do that, I'm going to take a half cup of this brownie mixture and just put it right back in the dirty bowl that you tried to lick.
So my guess is you probably spent 2 weeks figuring out which swirling method was best.
That's what we do. That's exactly what we do. So if you could bring that 8 by 8 inch baking pan up here. We created a foil sling, which is great for brownies or bar cookies. Just 2 pieces of foil that's been folded to 8 inches wide, crisscross over each other, and then greased the pan and the foil. Let's go ahead and add in the brownie batter.
And that bowl's going this way.
I know. There you go.
Thank you.
You got it?
Yeah, I do.
Spread this all the way out to the sides. How is it?
How
Terrible?
is the chocolate brownie batter? It's exactly what you'd expect. It's delicious.
So get this even. I like to kind of give it a nice level.
A whack. Yeah.
That's right. So now instead of dolloping this on top, what we're going to do is I'm going to spread it in an even layer. All right, and I've got a nice offset spatula here. It's perfect for the job. We're going to work this all the way out to the very sides, and that's going to make sure that every bite has a little bit of cream cheese mixture and a little bit of brownie. All right, all the way out to the edges. That looks good. So let's get that reserved brownie batter. Now, this brownie batter actually cooled down. It became quite stiff just in that quick amount of time. I'm going to put this back in the microwave for another 20 seconds just to loosen it up. All right, so this has a great texture, a little bit loose. And now we're going to dollop spoonfuls on. I'm going to go for 6. See, so we basically reverse engineered this instead of dolloping on the cream cheese mixture. All right, and now the swirling instrument, the dinner knife. I'm not going to go crazy here, but we just want to swirl it, leaving about a 1/2 inch edge at the side. And you don't want to over swirl it because you'll lose that really pretty white marbling. There we go. So this is going to go into a 325-degree oven, and that's a little bit lower than our typical 350 for brownies, but that's by design. We actually want to slow down the cooking so we don't overcook the edges before the center is cooked through. And these are going to go in there for about 35 to 40 minutes. I'll rotate the pan halfway through cooking. Oh, I don't know if I should bring these over there. I might have to just hoard them.
You don't like sharing. We know that about you, Bridget.
So how do we know that this is done? Well, you can see that the edges have a little bit of coloring right around where the cream cheese is. I'm going to take a toothpick. Now I want to insert this into the chocolate area, not the cream cheese area, because that is still really wet at this point. You're going to see that it's still quite gooey, almost fudgy, and that's by design. This is going to continue to bake as it cools, and it'll set up. If we were to bake it until the toothpick came out completely clean, then it would be overbaked. This is going to sit here in the pan for an hour. Then I'm going to use that foil sling, remove the brownies from the pan, and return them to the wire rack to cool almost completely. I think you've waited long enough.
Still warm, by the way.
That's right.
I'm speechless.
You know, these are so rich, but that tanginess, it really actually helps with a super rich, super chocolatey brownie.
So the secret to a great cream cheese brownie started out by not just using cream cheese. We used less cream cheese, some sour cream, a little bit of flour to get the right mixture, and no eggs. And the brownie mixture was pretty typical, except for reverse engineering of the swirling method in a little bit of a low oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. And there you have it. From America's Test Kitchen to your kitchen, a fabulous recipe for cream cheese brownies. You can get this recipe, all the recipes from this season, tastings, testings, and watch select episodes of our show at our website, which is americastestkitchen.com. Can I eat this faster?
I think you just did.